Working all day, gotta get things done. You think you're on the money when you're jumping like a bunny and you're digging that scene, or just chilling in your limousine. You're digging that scene, or just chilling in your limousine. Cruising, never losing, hanging in tough, don't wanna fall off. Easy-minded, see you find it. You digging that scene, or just chilling in your limousine. You digging that scene?
What the hell? Hey, what's going on?
Look for the others and find the airblade.
What the hell's going on?
They must be after that package Oscar brought back from work.
Well, let's go give it to
No,
him.
wait, dork. You go grab the package. It's under Oscar's bed. I'll meet you across town at my hideout.
Why do I have to take the
Because
package?
I'm doing a diversion, Ethan. Now go!
Cortez, Brady, let's start upstairs.
Okay, back off, jackass. I just phoned the cops.
Honey, I own the cops. Get her, boys.
Yeah, boy. Get her! Yeah, she's getting away.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
What the?
Oh! Ooh. Yes!
I found the target. Hey, you! There he is.
Out of the way!
There he is.
Look out, Ethan. More goons have just arrived.
Catherine Blake, we know you're in there. Give yourself up. We only want...
Okay, you got yourself a bridge. Now haul your ass over here.
It's all about the...
Dude, tell me you were watching. I was pulling some bitchin' moves
Come on,
back there.
hot dog. Let's get away from that chopper and find out what's going on.
Who were those guys?
I imagine they're Oscar's former colleagues. He resigned from the GCP Corporation yesterday and took this little gadget as severance pay.
Oscar hijacked the stick? No wonder the suits are so bummed.
Yeah, well, nothing I hear about that corporation surprises me. GCP are a bunch of sleazy lowlifes who'd sell their own grandmothers if there was a profit margin involved.
But can you help us, Naomi? You must know someone who could tell us where they've taken Oscar.
Why would I know anyone from there? The place is like Nerd Central.
You know everyone, Naomi.
Okay. I'll contact you when I find something. In the meantime, you guys should be careful. GCP practically runs this city.
Guess it's time. Time to stick it to the man.
Move it!
picking up scanners on those GCP trucks. They're tracking the board. Ethan, you have to put them out of action.
Beat it!
Ethan, I'm getting a text from Naomi. She's fixed up a meeting with a GCP guy who works with Oscar. Ethan, it's at the same facility that's been sending orders to that chopper. You've got to hitch a ride.
Front slide, move around, uptown, downtown, kick it. Backside, front slide, ride the future, ride the future, kick it. Backside, front slide, move around, uptown, downtown, kick it. Backside, front slide, ride the future, ride the future, kick it. Backside, front slide, move around, uptown, downtown, kick it. Backside, front slide, ride the future, kick it. Backside, front slide, move around, uptown, downtown, kick it. Backside, front slide,
Negative, sir. The target is still at large.
Your men are wasting their time, Clayton. Call the search off.
But Mr. Sawyer, what about the prototype?
Oh, I think our Mr. Palmer will bring it to him. After all, he won't want to leave his good pal to the mercy of a ruthless corporate bully. Isn't that so, Oscar?
Understood, sir. We'll double security on key installation.
Excellent. Pretty soon we'll have Oscar. We'll have the Airblade, and I'll have the shareholders eating out of my hand.
Amen to that, sir.
Want a piece of me?
Don't mess with me. There he is. Don't mess with me, kid. Don't mess with me.
Want a piece of me? Want a piece of me?
Come through! Whoa! Don't mess with me, kid.
Want a piece of me?
Naomi said you weren't too bright.
You must be... Naomi said that?
Don't sweat. You made it this far past security. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? I mean, this fort is awesome and all, but why are these GCP jerks getting so uncool about it?
At the heart of the Airblade is an anti-grav power plant. It's a technology that will make fossil fuel-based power systems obsolete overnight.
But that's a good thing. I mean, pollution sucks, right?
Not for GCP. They want to bury the technology until they've milked the profit from their investments in traditional energy sources. 30 years, Oscar reckoned. That's why he walked out with the Airblade.
Where's Oscar now?
I heard he's being held in a secure area, on the top floor of the corporation's HQ. Better hurry. They want to keep Oscar's talent at GCP, but not so bad that they wouldn't kill him and all his friends. Keep this technology under wraps.
We'll see about that.
There he is!
Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. Want a piece of me?
Yeah, they're going crazy over at HQ. Try these on for size.
Out of the way! Leave it, kid.
All right, I moved the crane. Now you got a way into the transport station.
Ethan Palmer, as I live and
Step
breathe.
off, Rent-A-Cop. I'm getting on that train.
Real scary, kid. But let's see how tough you are once I bust a cap in your ass.
There he is!
They're sending more guards down. Trash those elevators, quick!
Watch it.
Bring it on!
Just find him. Affirmative, sir. Initiating search maneuvers.
Oscar, I'll have you out of here in a second, buddy. Chill out, dude. I'm on fire today. I kind of felt sorry for those corporation users. I've been pulling off moves even I can't believe. Shoot, it's like Escape Boom, you know? I'm the sidewalk assassin, man. The tarmac Terminator. Nobody can stop me. Yeah, hello?
Ethan, you're okay!
Yeah, I think. What's up?
Not sure. The whole place is being evacuated. There's no sign of Sawyer or...
Oh no, I got a split!
Ethan! Ethan!
Ethan, your tenacity is quite astounding. I'm almost tempted to offer you a job.
Did I get back to you on that? Come on, Oscar, let's go.
Alas, I can't let you leave with the board, Mr. Palmer. It's all a matter of profit. Now, hand it over and your friend can live. Ow!
Man, that was a close shave. I know, he nearly offered me a job.
To the sun, working all day, gotta get things done. You think you're on the money when you're jumping like a bunny, or you're thinking that same, or just chilled in your lemon seat. You're thinking that same, or just chilling in your lemon seat.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, play fucking now. Here we go, here we go, play fucking now. Here we go, here we go, play fucking now. Here we go, play fucking now. Play fucking now. Yeah, play fucking now. Play fucking now. Play fucking now. Power up. Super fly in the sky. Everybody flip, flop, fly. Super fly in the sky. Ride through the air like you just don't care. Super fly in the sky. Everybody flip, flop, fly. Super fly in the sky. Ride through the air like you just don't care. Super fly in the sky. Everybody flip, flop, fly. Super fly in the sky. Ride through the air like you just don't care. Backside, front slide, move around, uptown, downtown, kick it. Backside, front slide, ride the future, kick it. Backside, front slide, move around, uptown, downtown, kick it. Backside, front slide, flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flip, flop, flip, flop, flop, kick it. Come again, come again.
Hiya, I'm Emily Newton-Dunn. We're here at Criterion Games in Guildford to find out how Airblade was made. Right, well, we've nabbed one of the guys, Craig. Hiya.
Hello.
Do you want to tell us a bit about what you do?
Yeah, my name's Craig Sullivan. I'm the game designer on Airblade, which basically means that I'm responsible for all the fun stuff in the game.
Fantastic.
So, I have a bit of a hand in level design, the way the player moves, the control system, all of the tricks, the different player modes and stuff. I basically get to kind of control what the player experiences and how much fun they have when they actually sit down and start playing the game. So it's a pretty cool job.
Excellent, definitely. And tell us a bit about Airblade then.
So Airblade is a next generation boarding game. Basically by next generation we kind of mean that it's a step up from snowboarding, skateboarding games that are around at the moment. Obviously the fact that it's set on an Airblade rather than something that's in contact with the floor.
A hoverboard.
Yeah, a hoverboard, you know, it's kind of like the Back to the Future thing that everybody's seen. You know, we've watched that video quite a lot of times.
We've all waited for, but never, you know,
yeah,
appeared.
I mean, you know, that's kind of one of the main things that we wanted to try and pick up on is the fact that everybody we show the game to always thinks about the Back to the Future section. Say, right, you know, obviously you can grab onto the back of cars and you can kind of drive over water and things like that. So,
but there's much more to this game than just stunts, particularly in the single player mode.
Yeah, I mean the main mode of the game is story mode, which I think you were playing earlier.
Had a little go.
Yeah, just a little bit. Maybe 5 minutes. You play it a little bit more later.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main differences between our game and a lot of the other games at the moment is that we wanted to kind of bring something fresh and something new to it in terms of with the storyline. You've obviously got a start and a finish to the game.
Yeah.
And kind of when you start a level, you have a little bit of the story is unraveled to you, and it basically gives you more of a reason, so that when you're playing through a level, you know, I don't just have to kind of drive around and do loads of crazy stunts just to get some points for absolutely no reason whatsoever. You know, in say level 2 of our game, it's all based around the fact that there's people who you've stolen the board from, and they're trying to get the board back from you. They're trying to hunt you down. So they've got guards who are out to kind of catch you on the sidewalk and stuff. They've got surveillance vans tracking you down. They've got surveillance cameras and all of these kind of things. They're basically there to impede your progress through the game. So you've got to take them out, and that's the whole kind of that section of storyline just for level 2. How
have you kind of approached the learning curve on Airblade?
We did a lot of tests, a lot of focus tests with people where we just gave them the controller, got them to drive around, and started out really easily and really simply. So the difficulty curve actually starts out very, very shallow. So and as you progress through, you know, it kind of it goes up just a small bit at a time.
What's your favourite bit?
I like any part of the game where you can go into a set of movements or a combo that lasts for say 30 seconds to a minute. You can actually get off the floor for that amount of time, and you can do moves and you can kind of show people stuff that they will never see in any other game. And you know, it's just it brings home the fact that the mission we started out with, to try and make it so that you could show someone for 10 seconds, you know, this is what you can do if someone gave you an Airblade and you went outside now.
Yeah.
You can do this, you can spin around lampposts, and you can kind of go crazy, and you can hang onto the back of cars and stuff. This is what you can do in this game, and that usually inspires people to say, right, you know, I want to be able to do what you've just done there.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Craig.
Thank you.
So we nabbed Ed. Hiya, Ed.
Hi.
Can you tell us what you do here?
I'm the lead artist on Airblade, so I had to set the style and the tone of the game.
There are quite a few of you working on the game, and it is story-led, so it's obviously quite character-driven and things. How hard do you find it to actually interpret other people's ideas?
I think one of the things you have to do is to set the style fairly early on, and then when people can see that the style's, you know, a certain way, then they kind of buy into it. And once so what we did was we concentrated on getting one level up and, you know, and together, so that we could really say, well, that is what the game is. That's what it's all about. And once you've got that, everyone can buy into that from, you know, all their different directions in terms of, you know, the programming, in terms of the art, and in terms of the game design.
I was just thinking it must be quite complex because the game is played over so many levels, and you know, you really do. You can sort of jump from one pole, do a spin, and jump to the next pole. How did you kind of work out all the different routes that could be taken?
Yeah, well, one of the things we wanted to put into the game was a kind of a skill base over height. So you can kind of ride around on the ground and just do low grinds and all that kind of thing. That's all there. But then the more skillful you get, you'll find that there's more kind of routes through the city in the higher levels until you get onto like telephone cables and things that run around the level, you know, grinding along the edge of canopies and swinging across lampposts and all that kind of thing. So there's multiple levels, and the more skillful you are, the longer you can stay in the air, basically.
Absolutely. So basically, if you can see something with an edge, grind it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We like that.
Pole, grab it, spin around it.
Yeah.
If there's anything you think you may be able to smash through it, have a go, because you'll be able to. Yeah.
Brilliant. You can't smash into any windows then and sort of...
Yeah, there's windows in buildings that, you know, you can smash through to.
Oh, disturb people in their baths then.
That kind of thing.
Right, well, I grabbed Pete from Busy Out There. So, Pete, tell us who you are and what you do here.
Okay, I'm Pete Lake. I'm an artist working at Criterion Games, working on Airblade. Currently in charge of the cutscenes the character development, as well as the in-game animation.
Fantastic. Now, there are loads of pictures on the walls of Ethan and Kat. Do you want to take us through how you actually did develop Ethan as a character?
Yeah, Ethan started off, but all the characters started off as quite this Japanese manga-influenced game. When the publishers and that got involved, we decided to stop and look at the project as far as making it a bit more realistic. People can approach something that's a lot more realistic.
They can identify with it a lot more. And then there's Kat as well, because she's very different there than she is there.
She is indeed. Kat's the sidekick character in the game. She started out as a kind of a warrior with Ethan. She worked through a lot of phases where she's a computer hacker, and she still is a computer hacker, so she's got the glasses. She looks slightly nerdy, but still she's cool enough to be street.
You've got your characters, you've got your design, you know you're working off an Airblade. How do you actually go about and capture all the tricks and stuff like that?
Yeah, we've used motion capture to get because we're going with a game that's very realistic. Motion capture is a way of capturing real life movement inside the computer. You get a person who wears like a lycra suit covered in little ping pong balls, and then they work in an environment with lots of cameras that then capture the exact position of all these things, and we can make a little stick man that moves exactly the same. We used some professional skaters, some proper UK skaters for Globe, like Matt Pritchard and Matthew Davis. And they came along to us, and we spent 2 days with them. We built ramps, we built some boxes, we got them skating on boards, we got them holding props. We did some really great stuff with them.
How difficult was it to come up with new tricks for the hoverboard?
It was quite hard initially, but as we laid down a few ground rules. You think this Airblade is hovering about this high off the floor, so immediately you don't have any worry about contact, so you can do most of your standard skateboard tricks where you need to jump. You can do them straight away, so you've got all your basic flips out the way straight away. So we have been able to go much more gymnastics, almost as if we're using this thing as a trampoline.
Brilliant.
You can bounce it because it's on a cushion of air, so we're doing big flips, big tricks, and because you can go faster and higher, you can throw in snowboarding moves, you can throw in just crazy stuff.
You three are programmers on Airblade. Can you introduce yourselves and actually tell us what you do?
My name's Sean Turner, I'm the lead programmer. I've worked mainly on the animation of the characters in the game. I've also worked on some of the other animation parts of the game, like the real-time cutscenes, and I've worked with Paul here on the handling as well.
And I basically wrote the physics engine in there, a few bits and bobs. Apart from that, I did the game types, the story mode, and the training, but pretty much my whole thing was making the world believable in there.
My name's Steve. So I've been working on the game engine, which is kind of the low-level glue which will tie everything else together. There's all the other programming services sit on top of. So we're integrating in the renderware graphics engine into the game and making sure we're using it in a efficient way.
Just go back to you, Paul. I mean, the physics engine must have been one of the hardest things to actually get right.
Absolutely.
How long did it take you, and how did you work it out in the end?
Well, it's such an evolutionary process, really, because you start off and how do you start off doing a hoverboard? No one's ever seen one, no one's ever ridden one. Realistically, if one existed, you wouldn't really want to be on it because it would just be so unstable. I mean, there's just nothing to stop you. As soon as you start rolling down a hill, that is it. You would never ever stop.
It's something we realised right at the start of the project, wasn't it?
That
either this is going to have to be a model that we're going to have to not make realistic. You're going to have to make it as playable as possible, not basically any kind of realism thing.
And there's a new kind of tool that you can use, the performance analyzer. Can you tell us what it is and how it's helped you?
It's effectively it's a logic analyzer that looks at all the bits that's going on the PS2 at once and shows you cycle per cycle exactly what's happening. And whilst it's easy enough to understand what any one bit's doing at any given time, it's really hard to get the big picture. Where the performance analyzer comes in is it lets you see all those bits at once and exactly how they're related to each other. So you can see if there was like one bit was stalling on one of the others, if there was a bottleneck somewhere slowing the rest of it down. So you can identify those problems and change it slightly so that all the things are running together rather than waiting for each other.
And how long does it actually take you to sort of work out the codes and things like that? Because obviously, I mean, it's a continuous process because right up until the game's released, you're going to be looking for the bugs and all those kinds of things. But essentially, from setup, what are the different stages that you have to go through?
Well, it's quite interesting because we had a prototype game with essentially all the essential elements that the game has today within, I think it was 6 weeks from design. We did a prototype. We just hacked it all together. We're using renderware so we could get the rendering really quickly, and we had a board. I think we had We did have a character on a board.
Board.
We could grab poles, do tricks, grind edges.
I think we even had cars on it as well, didn't we?
I think we did. We put it together really quickly, 6 weeks, and we had like a prototype game.
Right, I grabbed Stephen. So Stephen, hiya.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
Well, we're doing it right now.
Right here, right this minute. No. What's your role in the Airblade?
I'm the head of the audio for Criterion Games, and my role is to oversee all the audio content for the game and to work with my team of guys into making it all happen in terms of speech, music, sound effects.
So you did all the music for Airblade as well?
Yeah, we spent quite a long time, probably since about January, writing music for Airblade. I've written it with a co-writer, a friend of mine called Steve Emney, who a guy who's been in the industry for a long time. I've done a lot of work with. We worked together pretty much through every track there was.
Did you see the sort of tracks that you were putting the music to first, or did you kind of have an idea of the way you wanted it to go?
I think that, I mean, there is obviously always an initial design document, and there is always ideas for music. Everybody's got an idea for music. Everybody's got the music they like. Everybody in the team's got their own music they like. So, I mean, I think my job, and I've been doing it for many, many years now, is to look at the product, get a feel for it, and try and complement what's going on with the product.
How do you cast the voices?
Well, one thing that we all decided on for this title was that we were going to use American voices. And we wanted to get it to be really, really authentic. We did some auditions, we did some castings last week on Monday and Tuesday evening, and because this was being done over in the West Coast, we're already at an 8 hours difference, so we're doing that from here in the evenings. We did it on a conference call phone. There's myself, Ben Minto, who's my head sound designer, and he's put a lot of work in with the sound design ideas and the voice ideas, and working with Pete Lake on what the cutscenes are actually going to be and how the characters are actually going to speak and interact.
My name's Paul Glancy. I'm the creative manager on the game, and I work with the game designer to make sure he doesn't go crazy and do all his own stuff that isn't going to make the game work, but fortunately he doesn't.
I'm Siobhan Reddy, I'm the producer, and I basically run around and organise everybody so everything gets done on time.
Tell us about how the game has actually been put together, because there's lots of teams working together, so how do you bring them all in?
It's pretty easy actually. That's the easiest way to do it, is to divide everybody up into smaller groups, because then once people know where they're responsible for and they know the areas that they're responsible for, they tend to respond a lot better to ideas that are going around, because they know they have the right to be able to say, no, that doesn't fall within our, you know, that's not how we want to do things. So basically having the world builders, that means the world builders can go away and build the world without having to be concerned about what's going on in the character side.
And Paul, you have a kind of creative overview.
Yeah, I think my role is generally, it's almost like I'm the layman on the team, because my past is in journalism, doing reviews and stuff like that, and also working at a games publisher. And so my role on the team is to sort of, I guess, spot what would be commercial, what wouldn't, what players will like and what they don't. So that kind of runs into art, gameplay, even audio.
So where did the name Airblade come along from?
Well, the game was originally called Stunt Squad, but the game was quite a little bit different then. You know, we had
cartoony.
Yeah, it was kind of cartoony. It was a bit younger, and Stunt Squad does sound a bit sort of 70s cartoon series. We decided for Airblade when the game had evolved a little bit, so that it looked a bit older, a bit more realistic, and basically Airblade just sounds a lot cooler.
So that was your sneaky peek at the making of Airblade. Hope you enjoyed it. Now stop watching this, get out there and play it.
Front slide,